you go, guys. Welcome back to another In the Rough podcast. Another busy week in probably the non-golfing world. Everything aside from the actual tournament to play with, a lot going on with Tiger. His kind of first major and proper interviews and insights since obviously his injuries, but not answering any of the questions people actually wanted to know. All the aftermaths with the match between Brooks and Bryson. And then Seehab's got some insight into some new putting grip techniques that we'll delve into as well. But we'll start off with Tiger, because obviously that's been the kind of news that's dominated really the last 3 or 4 days, obviously given his first proper interview since the crash. So what did you guys make of it?
I mean, it's Tiger.
He's alive!
He can play golf again. Yeah. Yes, he is.
I think
he lives.
They were highlighting the fact that, oh my God, he's only going to come back and play, pick his matches. That was pretty obvious anyway, I thought. There was nothing that came out of it.
He was already doing that.
Yeah. Well, anyone at that age is picking, Phil's the perfect example, the season just gone, picking what he wants to do, where he knows he's going to be in the running. It makes
Tiger was doing it anyway because of his back.
Yeah.
Playing 12 events a year.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. It's not I think they were blowing it up as a surprise, and it wasn't.
He's gonna play the majors and then the players, and then that's probably about it, really.
I reckon he'll come back and captain or co-captain the next Ryder Cup.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, as well. But
yeah.
Other than that, he's just timed it perfectly when everything else was quieting down. Nothing else was really happening, just to cement his place for that 40 million, isn't it?
I don't think that's his biggest concern, considering how much he earns from all of his deals.
He did look absolutely jacked, to be fair.
Yeah. So yeah, bear in mind, he's probably, I reckon he's not far off taking 75% of that. 30 million a year is not to turn your nose up at.
No, I'm not saying to turn your nose up at, but bear in mind, you're talking about the highest earning athlete probably ever, in terms of pure endorsements, longevity. He's earned more in sponsorships than Michael Jordan ever did. I don't think for him 30 million is all that consequential, really.
Yeah, well,
he doesn't care now. Doesn't care about it now at all.
Exactly.
Well, I think if you look at it, his current annual estimated income is 95 million euros. So if you're adding 30 million,
but I doubt he planned to come back for 30 million.
He might not have, but his management team would have 100%.
Not if he couldn't walk. It's like he had to have been at some level of healthiness to be able to do it. It's not like
I think Sam's point of in terms of he could have done an interview at any point. He could have released the interview at any point. The fact he's chosen to do it now.
Yeah.
So I think I'd meet in the middle with you in the sense of it's inconsequential to him, but his marketing team and his management teams and so on will probably care quite a bit because it makes them look better.
Yeah, and they'll benefit from it as well. But it's good we don't agree, otherwise it'd be a boring podcast. So there you go. that's what we need. But I thought it was quite interesting. Some of the range video that was released, I think that's much older because the interviews he looks significantly more jacked in his upper body than he did in those range videos. So I think they've held that off.
Potentially.
Yeah. Well, he's been sitting at home, not able to walk, with nothing else to do, and all of a sudden he's got big arms.
Yeah.
Yes, Tiger.
That's all there is to do.
Makes sense. Yeah.
I think he quite openly admitted, though, that he's never going to really be competitive again.
Well, it just depends what to do, doesn't it?
But, how he said it. He was obviously like, it'd be nice to play again, but he's not going to.
I think what would be really interesting is to see how he is around with his son. I think how much of an active role he takes in his son's development is going to be the interesting element.
I don't think you'll see that at all, though.
No, whether his son ends up having his own coaching team around him, or whether it's going to be Tiger, and whether his incentive to get fit now is for him to get back to tour level, or it's for him to get back to a point where he can coach and get him.
Well,
ready.
yeah, but arguably he wouldn't have to. He could have lost his leg and still been able to coach him.
No, but it's different though when you're out there, isn't it? Surely.
Well, no, it's like you could have people who you have coaches who are like 80 and can't swing a club anymore. They still can coach people.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's just a knowledge that Tiger has is a whole other world, isn't it? Really?
Yeah. Well, we'll see. But to be honest, I don't really care about that.
Wow,
it's like 8 years down the line. And all he can do is end up disappointing because he can't really be as good, can he? So
it's like Michael Jordan's sons, isn't it? Really?
Yeah. No, you can only come up short.
Unless your name is Colin Morikawa.
Here we go.
But he's not his son. Like what?
He's a spiritual heir to Tiger. That's what he is.
And he's still nowhere near as good as Tiger was at the same age.
Of course not.
So,
but it's hard to be, isn't it? Though, really.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, no one's going to be able to ever.
Well,
if he hadn't got injured and got those sorts of things, like he'd probably be on like 20 majors and.
They said that about Jack, that no one would ever, achieve what he did.
Yeah, but he did it over 30 years.
Yeah. the time span, isn't it?
Yeah.
Tiger kind of did it in 10, really, realistically doing it.
It's like 97 till 2007, 2009, maybe.
Yeah. And he started having the extracurriculars.
Led. Oi.
Shall we call it?
That was the one question that wasn't asked in the interviews. Was I think they'd been briefed. Nobody asked anything about the crash, anything, which is what everyone really wants to know.
I genuinely don't think anyone cares.
Do you not?
No. But is it going to change your opinion of him?
No, I just come out and say I was high as a kite and I crashed my car doing 90. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but if he said that, he'd be arrested.
Yeah.
They probably knew. Like they picked it.
But you can't. If they probably do know. If he was like that, and they do know, they can hide it and put it under the rug. If he came out and said that to everyone, you're gonna have every flipping organisation crying out that he's got to be put in prison. Because he's flaunting it and all that sort of stuff. So you'd only be so you're never going to do that.
No, he's never going to say. No, he's never going to say. But I guess what you can ask as to his frame of mind. I guess you can ask to.
It's because you want the drama, Sebastian.
Yeah.
Seb just wants talking points. That's all he wants.
There's nothing else happening on tour level or anything at the moment. So give us something.
There's a tournament this weekend.
Yeah, but we can't talk about the future yet.
Can't we? Isn't that what we kind of always done?
We will towards the end. But I'm talking about
okay.
The last couple of weeks. But the only thing that's happened is obviously Seehab's favourite event, which was the match between Brooks and Bryson.
No, something else happened. That lady on the LPGA tour hit 63 green in regulations in a row.
Oh, I did see that. Yeah.
Something like that, which is utterly ridiculous. It was like basically almost 4 full rounds of golf that she didn't miss a green, which shouldn't be possible.
I hit one in a row and I'm impressed with myself.
Have you ever hit one in regulation?
One's not a row.
Yes. Technically, it's a starting point. But no, I have hit greens in regulation. I think I've hit 2 in a row on a few occasions. I don't think I've done 3 or 4.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a
Check
starting
me
point.
out.
How's your winter training going, by the way?
My winter training, I've decided that it is very cold outside, so I will train inside. Hence, me wanting to change parts of things that I can do inside the house.
I see. So you're not going to the range or anything. You're just putting in your house.
Yes.
Okay.
And hence, so as Seb said, might have mentioned at the start of the podcast, I am now looking at slightly different putting grips.
You're looking at one putting grip because you want to be Colin Morikawa.
And it works well on the kitchen tiles, does it?
It's not. It's actually a carpet. And because there's no. Unfortunately, because my landlord has decided that I don't deserve underfloor. What is it called?
Heating.
No. What do you put under the carpet?
Underlay.
Underlay. Yes, because my
Underlay. Arriba. Sorry.
We'll cut out the racism.
That's not racist.
Because my landlord decided to save £60 on underlay across the flat. I have a very, very flat surface that rolls quite quickly. So I felt it was quite good for practicing putting. And I noticed recently that with my made-up putting grip, there was a lot of issues with the face and the takeaway not being consistent at all. So I've been looking for ways to stabilize that.
And how is it going?
I find it very, very weird. It's incredibly weird. Especially, so I'm experimenting with the claw at the moment, and I generally have to bend over so much and bend.
I also know your putter is very short for you because you are 6'4".
Yes. So the putter was short for me anyway, and it somehow feels like I'm using a toy club now. So I might have to look at a new putter. I was looking at, arm locks, but
you can't. You literally can't do that, can you? Because Bryson uses one of those, and then that would be.
Yes. Yes.
That would feel dirty, would it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It would.
Mm.
I do see the science behind it, which is interesting. But I do feel like I want to get into a motion which feels controllable and a lot more repeatable, essentially, but still allows some freedom for creativity.
Isn't the idea
not asking for much then from one new club,
and doesn't look absolutely stupid, being in the bag as well.
Does it matter if it looks stupid in the bag if it works?
Not really, but the bag has to fit inside my car, so the current formation of clubs does fit inside quite well. So I don't necessarily want to mess that up.
You've got a huge Mercedes. Like, what isn't going to fit in there?
You have no idea how careful I have to be when I put the bag away. It's a real problem. I think more car manufacturers need to put golf clubs in the back of their boots to see if that's something that they can cater for.
Well, Seehab, the Ford Puma, that new one there, because obviously where the spare tyres used to be, in the Ford Puma, they've removed that whole base, so you can actually stand a golf bag upright in the boot.
That's interesting. I also do want a spare tyre. Because,
new cars don't come with spare tyres, that's why.
No, but I don't want to be stranded. So,
but you drive so carefully and safe that you're never going to have that problem. So,
firstly, that is that is a very good point. I'm an incredibly safe driver. I always abide by the legal rules on the roads, and it shouldn't be consideration. But because I am so careful and so risk averse, it is a consideration.
Before you incriminate yourself, Seehab, let's revert back to the Brooks Bryson match with your favourite guy.
You handled that terribly.
I thought I handled that with great dignity.
Yeah, what were your thoughts? Because I think most people kind of knew, obviously, generally speaking, in matchmade Brooks is the better player. But what were your kind of
Did
thoughts?
they? Because I didn't hear too many people saying that beforehand. There was
Well,
a lot of.
but I think it's a lot of people just don't like either of them, rather than it being he's better. It's just who do you not like the least. I think it's more the approach.
I also think the PGA Instagram accounts gives a lot of preferential treatment to Bryson, where because obviously he hits the bigger drives, it just looks better on the page when he's bombing it, and they've got good graphics for that sort of stuff. So they post him a lot. It gives it gives them a lot of preferential treatment. So I think the audience is kind of skewed by that anyway. But anyone who was
content, isn't it? That's what they need. And obviously, he hit the balls off of the roof of the win like the weekend before as well. Didn't he, to promote it? Whereas Brooks didn't do anything to promote it. So you can understand from their perspective why they would favour the person that's going to actually promote it versus the boring one.
Oh no, 100%.
Boring one who actually won and now has the last laugh in the whole argument.
Exactly.
But that doesn't sell anything.
I don't think he cares.
I think it's just anyone who's under any illusion of who is the actual better player overall. I mean, it's just not an argument. This is exactly what I've been saying. You can drive it as far as you want. You can talk. That answer of how big my brain is. I calculate all of this stuff and I imagine it in my brain and all of that stuff. Great, you're still losing.
No, but I think the point is it's more impressive how he developed from where he was, where Brooks has always been at a very good level. I think it's more how he used the technology and the science to develop his game, whereas Brooks is Noah's Ark, because Brooks has won 4 majors. There's not really a discussion there, and no one's saying necessarily Bryson is a better player. It's just quite impressive what he has been able to do and where he's progressed from, rather than saying he's better or worse. That's just quite impressive in itself.
I also don't like the entire argument of this thing. I just don't like. I don't like Bryson. I don't like the way he carries himself. Don't like.
He is.
I don't like either of them. It was a battle of 2 absolute willies.
And do you know what?
Of all the words
I don't know. I don't know who's listening.
It was just so cringeworthy, the entire thing. Like, the whole, I bought this set of cupcakes. So I was like, oh, God.
All the other matches have been quite funny.
Yeah.
Because they were actually having banter, whereas these had no, chemistry with each other. So it was just kind of, awkward the whole time.
The problem is, Bryson's a bit weird. Brooks is just boring. So it was never going to be good. The best part was Phil. He kept it together, kept it alive. That's the reason why they got him in. It's otherwise it would have just been dull as anything.
Do you know what? I'd love to have Phil commentating more on PGA Tour events.
Well, no, but that's what I'm saying. He will do that once he sort of actually retires.
Yeah, 100%.
I'd also love to have Charles carry on commentating, even though it wasn't very insightful from a golf perspective. It was just funny.
Yeah, but that's what you need. Like, the best part of the Olympics last summer was when Kevin Hart and Snoop Dogg were commentating on the golf and stuff.
The horse, the dressage.
Not a clue about any of the sports, but it's entertaining. That's what people want to hear. Yes, there's sometimes you want to hear a technical input, but 90% of the time you're watching it to be entertained, and that's what they do.
I think that'd be quite good. Where if they have a technical person or a previous player with a player from another sport that just enjoys it. I think that'd make for really good entertainment.
But they do it they do it in the F1's a weird example. In the F1, they have their pundits, and then when it goes to the technical analysis, they revert to the nerd and the boffin in the corner to analyse it, don't they? And that's almost what you kind of need, because otherwise golf general historic commentating is a bit.
Yeah, exactly. No, I think that'd be quite cool. Especially if it's someone who obviously generally enjoys golf coming from another sport side of thing, or coming from some other background. It doesn't necessarily have to be sport. It'd just be interesting to hear, how they read the game.
It is.
Well, so
yeah. Well, it's like Snoop Dogg started doing lots of the UFC, and obviously he just really enjoys UFC, and he is the most entertaining. Is that we got folks doing all they do?
Do you know who's really entertaining?
What an impression that is.
I'm not even going to comment. I'm not even going to comment. Do you know which random sports person I recently found out is a massive fan of golf? Booker T.
Yeah, legend.
Absolutely, exactly. Like, I'd love to see Booker T commentating on like the Houston Open or something.
Yeah.
Like, how cool would that be?
Yeah. I'll tell you who else I found out is actually quite. Macklemore is a scratch golfer.
Yeah.
Is he?
Have you not seen that video of him like practice around at the US Open? He's just riding around on one of those like bike things.
Yeah, I've seen it. Well, so I just assumed he was there as like part of the program. I didn't realise he was actually a very good player.
Yeah. Well, he's got nothing else to do. He's made all his money from like 3 songs.
What songs has he produced?
What do you mean? What songs has he produced? Thrift Shop, mate.
Outside of Thrift Shop and the other one that he did.
Yeah, but who cares? He's probably made 100 million off of that one song.
Yeah, it still makes money because people still play it.
He had a couple of other ones, like Raise Your Hands Up as well, like Hands to the Roof.
Hold on, in fairness, he had quite a few. In fairness, like he's got no worries whatsoever.
He was big for like a year and a half, wasn't he? Really,
that's all you need. That's all you need.
Yeah.
I don't even need that. You see one song that goes like viral, and yeah,
like it's like that little Nas. Yeah, like obviously he made more now. He made 120 million just from Country Road. That's all you need.
Mm.
Yeah, but Country Road was also turned into like a million other songs with all the people that were like sampling it and doing like a.
So Thrift Shop was a club anthem, mate, when they dropped some sick beats on the back of it.
I don't
remember my childhood.
I just remember saying, looking at Thrift Shop, and I was like, "Wow, this is going to be very popular now, isn't it?"
Yeah. As simple as that. There you go. Seehab, going back to your putting grip, why the claw, given your height issues with clubs? Why claw rather than the arm?
Right.
Then it not the car and not wanting to price it. Because on my book, you talked about reliability and consistency. Arguably, the arm lock is the most consistent because it's locked.
It is. 2 things coming.
He's too stubborn to use it because Bryson uses it.
No, one, I'd have to buy a new putter. And I don't necessarily want to have to do that. And buying a arm lock putter on the second-hand market is very difficult. So that kind of rules out that sort of grip. Then buying a putter where I can do something like a double-handed grip, or like I think it was called the prayer sort of grip, or anything like that. I'd have to get a much fatter grip on the club. Now, that's probably something I should do. But again, buying a new putter and buying a new club, very expensive, especially with those sort of grips.
So you're cheap, basically.
But given it's the most important club in the bag, is that not, if you're going to invest in anything, it should be the putter?
I will invest in it at some point once I've decided once I'm a bit more confident on what I should be investing in. So I think at some point I'll probably look at getting fitting or getting advice around it. So at the moment I
want to see you test an arm lock, and I want pictures. Yeah, I'll never let it down.
So I was thinking about
can you do a whole fitting and say I would like to try the arm locks and go dressed as Bryson? Please get one of the little farmer caps and stuff.
Right. So you want me to wear the peak cap as well whilst doing it?
Please.
Yes.
Right. And how do you want me to film all of this?
With a camera.
Yeah. If you do all of that, I will come up and film it because I want to nickname you Seehab DeChambeau Ahmed.
Right.
Rolls off.
Okay. It just does, so natural. Circling back, I was thinking about what grips can I use with the club anyway. and so I decided on claw because it does provide a bit more stability.
Mm-hmm.
But me being me, I feel like it's not 100% what I want. So I've invented like a reverse claw grip, which I'm enjoying much more. So I'm right-handed. So rather than
you're a pioneer.
I'm going to pioneer something different.
So to be clear, your thumb is on the front of the putter and your index and finger on the back.
No, so rather than with a right-handed person, traditionally it'd be the right hand that is also the claw. So what I feel more comfortable and what I feel locks me in place a lot more is if my left hand is the claw and my right hand is the one that's kind of delivering that brushing stroke. So I don't know whether that's from me being ambidextrous, whether that's from just my brain being weird.
Put in there.
Yeah, but your main control, the point you mean, if you're right-handed, it's meant to be your left as main arm because that's moving across your body to the target. Surely,
if you're right-handed, the right hand is meant to be the claw, so it's doing next to nothing, and it's your left hand, obviously, that's locked in place. Your left wrist is locked in place and it's doing the work. Yeah. I feel more comfortable doing the opposite, where it's the right wrist that's locked in place, and my left hand is the one that's gripping the putter.
You are left-handed.
Truly, yes, I am. Yes, I am. So I feel like this is like a weird concoction of all my weird habits coming together. Where
that makes more sense if you're left-handed, though, doesn't it? That makes a bit more.
Yes,
sense.
but I've always played with everything being right-handed. And
can we do a series of getting you some left-handed golf clubs and seeing what happens?
Sure, why not? I think that.
I wonder if you'll be good or not. Yeah. Will you be better or worse? Or
so yeah, we could take you to a thrift shop to get some clubs.
Oh wow! Now that sounds like a fun series that everyone should watch.
What a link! Already thought of the soundtrack for that one. Ready to go.
Right then, coming soon to SDF Golf. Me playing golf left-handed. Not that I've.
Imagine if he just turns into like the second coming of whoever. I don't know.
Phil.
Yeah.
No, well, with your swing and stuff, I think you'd be more Bubba, wouldn't you? So, but mind you,
wouldn't it be? Then you're starting from scratch. You wouldn't have any of the bad habits, so then you could actually build it properly.
Maybe imagine if I get coaching, but I get it for my left-handed swing.
Yeah, but you're too cheap to get coaching. Yeah. The only way it's going to work if I coach you somehow, and then I don't know how to do that.
So Tom, do you want to become a PGA coach, and then you can coach me?
We can see what sort of Frankenstein sort of left-handed golf swing you come up with.
And would your claw, just to clarify, would your claw grip then be for the right-handed person on the left?
I think I have no idea because I don't know what I'd prefer if I was doing it the other way. I think if I was doing it the other way, how would I prefer it? Yeah, so if I was doing it the other way, then it'd be a right-handed person's claw grip on a left-handed person.
Yeah.
So like Phil putts.
Probably. I've not really looked at anyone's putting.
Why? If you're trying to get the putting, that's probably worth doing so.
So I've looked at how to grip putters slightly in different ways online. I've gone with what I feel feels comfortable. I've not purposely looked at different professional players because obviously they've had different coaching and they've had different elements around it. So I kind of want to find what's comfortable first, and maybe if it works, it works. If not, then I'll eventually get to coaching.
I'm almost certain you will have the best putting performance you've ever had next time we see you in April.
Well,
you might see you sooner. Who knows?
We can come back round to that. But obviously, quickly before we go, obviously we've got the Hero this week?
Yes.
Yeah, it's Hero. See lots of people out there. I don't know. Did you see about Tony Finau, the Jaguars owner, is caddying for him?
Oh, really? That's Sadiq Khan or whatever his name is. Is that his name? Sadiq Khan?
He's annoying. Sadiq Khan is a London mayor.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. It's something Khan.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I know.
It is.
But basically, he's
the weird mustache guy.
Yeah.
Weird mustache.
Well, they said that today, so I might clarify that might just be for the Pro-Am today. I don't know if that's for the actual event, but he's caddying for him, which is quite interesting. But other than that, predictions, what's everybody thinking?
It would be very Jordan Spieth for him to have not turned up and done any practice because of the birth of his child and then win.
Yeah. Well, they've all been having babies, haven't they, at the moment?
Well, they haven't. Their wives have, but yeah.
Don't question the world at the moment, Tom. You never know.
Right, well, that's going out the podcast.
So you think predictions? You think Spieth?
I don't know.
I was just spitballing, as it were. Probably like Brooks, probably because like he actually played pretty well against the DeChambeau.
Yeah, he did, but I think he also made it quite clear that he doesn't normally play like that. I don't think he's
That's true, actually. No, yeah. Would Bryson come out and play well because he got embarrassed?
No, he's too busy filming YouTube videos.
He doesn't have the metal to do that, something like that.
Well, now you said that, he's definitely going to win. He listens to this, you know.
I'm sure Bryson listens to this podcast and my commentary to amp him up before every single.
It's probably going to be Colin, isn't it? The consistent, annoying person.
Excuse me. Do not say anything against Colin.
No, I like Colin. He's
everyone likes
it. I feel like it's going to be JT or Rory.
I was going to go Rory as well. Yeah,
I feel like JT needs a win. He needs to get his confidence back fully. Rory's performing well.
If Rory wins, he can get back to number 4 in the world.
Yeah,
Colin can go to number 1 in the world.
I think Colin will finish top 10. Colin should finish top 10, but for me, it's got to be JT or Rory for this one.
Yeah.
JT. Yeah, I could see JT doing it, having Tiger there. They're like best mates, aren't they?
Tiger came out today, didn't he? Said the Thomas
brother
and the Woods family are like best friends or something, didn't they?
He said like JT's like the brother he never had, and Charlie Woods is like the brother JT never had, which was like, that's kind of weird, Tiger. He's like 25 years old, 20 years older than him.
like if JT's your brother, how is Charlie your son his brother?
Weirdos, mate. Weirdos. These Americans.
Tom, half our viewers and followers are American. Be careful.
I said what I said.
Out there now. Sorry.
Also, by the way, we're on Spotify now, so maybe we'll have viewers from elsewhere as well.
Yes, you never know. I'm only judging it off of Instagram and YouTube at the moment, which I think is about 65% US based. So
go on.
Yeah, so Spotify, here we come, Azerbaijan.
I love I love the States, me.
Yes, you sound it, Seehab. But anyway, we'll wrap it up there. But thanks for listening. Make sure to like and subscribe. Yeah, follow us on Spotify as well.